Welcome back. In this video, we will review the case finding skills that you will need for your assignment. So this was your sneak peek from Mod 6. This assignment is going to test your ability to use 4 of the 6 case finding methods that we've learned and named. In the big picture, those methods are going to cross over the 3 middle steps of the research process, using secondary sources to locate primary law and expand that primary law. After that, you will also update and analyze your 4 best cases. So, what are case finding methods 1 through 6? Let's review. Number 1 is secondary sources. I sometimes see students claim to be using the headnotes method when they are pulling cases from the footnotes of a secondary source. So to be clear, headnotes and footnotes are very different things. So please ask if you are confused. The secondary sources method you did already use in part 1, but you are allowed to use it again in part 2 if and only if you use a different secondary source, and it should be more in depth than the prior sources that you picked for part 1. So don't revert to using an encyclopedia if you have already completed part 1. Find a treatise that's more in depth and discusses your topic more deeply. All right, number 2, case finding method number 2 is to use a statute to find cases. Did you learn about any relevant statutes while you were accessing secondary sources in part 1? If so, you can use those statutes to find cases. You're going to look for those cases in either the notes of decisions or the citator tabs. While you're looking at your statute, you'll have these tabs available. Here, the green arrows are pointing to the notes of decisions, notes to decisions, which is the curated list of cases by category. It's a shorter list than the red arrows, which are pointing to the citing references or citing decisions. Those are algorithmic lists of cases, every single case that's cited your statute, and it's a longer list. So usually you're going to want to click the red arrows, the longer list, to take advantage of the filtering options that are going to be available there. All right, and once you are there in that longer list, you can turn it back into a shorter list with the notes to decisions filter. It's then a curated list with filters. It's the best of both worlds. That's your pro tip. All right, number 3 is the headnotes method. Did you find any cases while you were completing part 1? If so, take those cases and use them here. Get a good case that you found in a secondary source in part 1, and then locate the relevant headnote and go through your headnotes options. The first headnotes option is classification system. So you're going to use the key numbers if you're in Westlaw, or the breadcrumb trail, the topics if you're in Lexis. And that's going to return cases that are decided both before and after the case you start with, because the topic is irrelevant. I mean, the topic is not tied to the date that your case was decided, right? There are cases before your case and after your case that deal with the same topic as your case. Next is headnotes. Again, at this time, you're using the citator. That's the button under your headnote. So from a headnote, you're going to use the key cite, cases that cite, or shepherdize, narrow by the headnote, link. And this link is only going to return cases decided after the case you're starting with. Why only cases after the case you're starting with? Because by definition, the citator is only going to return cases that cite your case, that came after your case, and cite back to it. And don't forget to avoid the delicious peanut butter. That's the more like this cases button. What does that button do? Is it the classification system or the citator? Hmm. Well, what if I change my inflection on that question? And what if I say, is it the classification system or the citator? Because then the answer is no, it's not. The more button is neither the classification system nor the citator. And I've cleared out our list of case finding methods here just to illustrate that this button is not one of our methods. The more button It's mainly a keyword search. It's a keyword search that the database runs for you. AI takes the words in your headnote and turns it into a keyword search to find other cases that say something similar. Is it using headnotes to expand and find more cases? Absolutely, yes. But it is not one of our 6 methods. Your learning objectives for now are to understand the uses of the classification system or the citator. And because the more button isn't using either of those things, and because the more button isn't always there, we're just going to use this assignment to show me that you understand classification system and citators, not that you understand how to click the more button. Anyone can do that. All right, save the more button for after this class is over. Do not use it for this assignment or this class. Okay, number 5 is also headnotes. Here you read the case that you already have open, letting the headnote number navigate you down into the opinion to see what authority the court cited for that point of law. Now that method is only going to return cases. My slide is wrong. Only going to return cases decided before the case you start with. I'll change my slide before I post them. It only returns cases before the case you start with. Why? Because it's cited in that case. The case came before your case. Okay, sorry about the slide error. All right, number 6 is keyword searching. Why is this method number 6? Well, because you use it last. Use all of the methods above to learn the law. You don't know the law? Learn it using these methods. Don't just vomit bad keywords into a search bar to learn the law. You know better than that now. So once you are understanding the law, you've done these methods, then you come to this last method to use keywords to locate cases that are combining that law you've learned with the relevant facts that you need based on your facts. And the best way to use the keyword search method is with an advanced search. So you're going to use the fields and segments search to search just the synopsis or the headnotes or both together because if your keywords are in the headnotes, that case is about your keywords. That case is more worthy of your time than a case where your keywords don't appear in the headnotes, right? Okay, so here's a clean list of the methods that you're going to use on assignment 5, part 2. Nice and neat for you. Now, all of that was case finding. So for each of those 4 methods that you pick, 4 out of the 6, you'll show your work so that I can follow all of your steps in your research trail. And you're going to cite the relevant cases that you found using that method. How many cases are you going to cite? How many are you going to put in this answer box? Plural. Plural cases. That is very important. If you list just one case in this answer box where the question asks for cases, you're going to get a check minus. I'm going to repeat that just to make sure it's sink in, just to make sure the part in this red bubble here sank in. If you list just one case where the question asks for plural cases, you're going to get a check minus. Do not list just one case. This is Pokemon. You got to catch them all. All right. That's it for the finding section of the assignment. You're going to use 4 methods to find plural cases each method, and you'll end up with a total of 8 or more total cases, right? 4 methods, multiple cases with each method. You're going to have at least 8 cases. And now I will see you in the next video to discuss analyzing those 8 or more cases that you've collected. I will see you there.